The views expressed by our guests in the following video are solely the opinions of our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of the Ola 7 podcast show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the Spotlight with Yvonne Mangunda here on the Ola 7 podcast show, and hoping that you're having a great day and a great week. I am having a fabulous day and I can't wait for you to see who is my guest for today, because he is one of the soccer stars of the year finalists for the 2024 season. 2024 has been a big year for him, having his first national team cap, as well as doing well for his team Dynamos. Who am I talking about? In the studio is Emmanuel Jalai. Yes, man. Tribo. Yo. We have to start with 2024.
Yeah.
What a year.
A blessed day indeed.
And looking back, January achitanga, season achitanga, obviously mnaningari optimistic and all that.
Yeah.
Did you in any way envision that your year would be this great?
Not really. But you know, as a person, whenever you're starting a year, you'll be hoping and praying that it will be a year of blessings. It's something that I've been praying for as a person. But, you know, God this time is always the best. And I can testify, considering the year that I've been. Like I said, it was a year of blessings.
And let's talk about those blessings for 2024. The national team call-up.
Yeah.
After having done so well for Dynamos over the years and being overlooked, when the squad was announced, did you really think too much about it? Were you anticipating to see who's on the list, or somebody had to call you and say, you've made the list?
Yeah, because whenever you're selected to be part of the national team, they ask you for details. So I was surprised when I got a message on my WhatsApp, say, can we have your back page of your passport? I was like, is this really happening? You know, it was the Four Nations tournament which was played in Malawi. So I was surprised, and it was mixed emotions. You know, you'll be happy. At the same time, you'll be surprised. This is happening. Really.
And what's it like, that moment where you get into camp and you finally put on those Zimbabwean colors?
Yeah, it's always a dream come true, because, you know, you'll be mixing up with those guys playing in Europe. Us as local players, we are the ones who arrive first, and those guys will come 2 days after. So whenever they come in the camp, you ask yourself, am I mingling with these guys? Is this really happening? But with time, you end up getting used to them, because those guys, if you ask me, they are the nicest person that I've come across with. I think what people see or what people talk about them is different. For example, Mashi and Mavi, if you look in the stage of football that they're playing, it's a high level. But if you look at the humility, it's totally different. It's totally different in terms of how they accept you as a player. Because, you know, when you're playing local, to mix up with those guys, there's a big difference. But for them, they don't show that difference.
Does it also inspire you? Because obviously, being a locally based players, I assume the dream is always to want to also go out there and see what's in store outside the borders.
Yeah, of course. It's a big motivation to mix up with those guys. Sometimes we share ideas on how we can be a better player. So, like I said, it's a big motivation to get a message and encouragement from them, because they know they are there and they know what is expected from a player to reach certain level.
Are you still hopeful of a deal outside the country, or maybe in the stage of your career, maybe you just said, this is what's there?
Yeah, us as human beings, we have our own expectations, but God this time is always the best. Like I said, we might set certain targets, we might do what we can do as human beings, but God would determine where you will be at the end.
And we're still on 2024. Soccer Stars Selection Day. Obviously, in the lead up, people talk about names, and your name was one of the names being spoken about. On Selection Day, when you heard the news, what was the first thing you did? Or who was the first person you spoke to? I made it.
When the list came out, I think it was during the training. And Frank came to me because he was part of the guys who were voting. So he saw the list as we were in training. He came and congratulated me, saying, congratulations, you've made it in the best 11. I was like, wow. The feeling is just different. It's something that I've been hoping and praying for, that one day I will make it. So living in such a dream, it's just different.
I remember a couple of years ago. Obviously, you've been doing very well for Dynamos, but there are certain seasons where you almost feel like this guy has to be on the calendar. And I remember I was one of the people that was voting at the time, and you obviously can't control what other people vote. So you vote for a person, for the people that you think will make the squad, and they don't make the squad. But is there any particular season that maybe you look back and think, this is when I really was waiting to make the list? Is there any season that was like that?
I think my first season. If you look, the team had is it around 16, 17 different players. In fact, new players to the club. But I think that year I did my best as a person. Unfortunately, as a club, we didn't do justice to the performance. But I thought I did very well 2019. But, it's difficult to make it up into the list, especially if you're a debutant into the league. It's really, really difficult. So I think 2019 is the year that I thought I was going to make it. But you learn as a person.
You learn as a person. And how do you handle disappointment?
I think I use it as a fuel. Whenever I get disappointed, I'll take the positive thing outside the negative of it. Because as a person, you have to keep on working. No matter how disappointing it is, you have to allow those setbacks. What matters most is how you come back after a disappointment.
And we've spoken about 2024, but I want to take you back, way back.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Jalai. Where were you born? What schools did you go to?
Yeah, I was born in Norton, and I did my grade 1 to 7 at St. Eric's Primary School. Then I did my Form 1 at Wimbai High School in Norton. Then I moved to Chairman's High School, where I did my Form 2 to 4.
And at what point in the journey did you start playing football? Obviously not Rechikweshe, but like really focusing on the game.
I would say when I was in grade 7, those school teams, when you start making into the school teams, that's when you start believing as a child to say, I think this is my talent where I can sustain as a person in life. So that time I started taking football seriously, unlike when you're playing Chikweshe, like you said. But from that stage, I took everything serious up to now.
And in what phase did Aces come into the picture?
In 2013, when we were playing the Copa Coca-Cola tournament in Highfields, the coaches came to scout for players. And luckily, I was one of the players that was scouted to be part of Aces Academy. But I didn't have full time at Aces because I was studying in Chairman's. So I would come after 3 months and 1 month. 3 months. So meaning I spend almost like only 3 months per year with them.
And do you remember some of the names that are doing well now that were at Aces during the time that you started?
Yeah, there's Junior Selemani, Colin Mjuru, who else? Panashe Mtasa, Fasilikawe is also doing well, and Tinotenda Chunye, and who else also? There's Prince Kashiri, who is playing in Wangu Mazodzi.
And what was the schedule like? Obviously, like you said, you didn't get to be full time like the rest of the guys because you were in boarding school. Yeah. But when you were around, what was the schedule like? The training schedule?
Usually we had 2 training sessions per day. So I used to train with the other guys. Then after I would go extra because those guys would be ahead of me. Because every time they will have proper training, unlike me, I'll be. So whenever I come back from school, I would do extra for me to catch up with other guys.
And when we talk about an institution like ACES, how much impact did it have on your career?
Yeah, a huge impact. Because, as a player, you have to learn the basics of football. The hardest thing to do as a player is to play basic football. And those basic aspects of the game, they are the one that matters most in the highest level of football. So I think those little details, they are the most that they focus on. So I think they made a huge impact in my career.
And when we talk about your career leading on, let's start with the professional outfits. Obviously, you had an academy. What was the first team that you played for?
I still remember 2018. I went to Haumain FC. Everything went well, and the coach was Bektemba Love. If I still remember, I signed a contract, but unfortunately, 2 days before the window transfer closes, Haumain decided to sell the franchise to RSC. And imagine us as upcoming players will be looking for a way to make up your name. So as a player, you'll be thinking that this is the time I've made it. But unfortunately, things go other way. So from there, I came back home for 2 weeks. Then I joined Cape United on the junior slot. And things didn't go as per how I hoped things were supposed to go. Then I came back to ACES in mid-year. Then I spent the last 6 months of the year at ACES. Likely, the same coach who was the coach at Haumain. He was the head coach for the COSAF Under-20 national team, which participated in Zambia. And we went to Zambia. I think we did very well. Unfortunately, we lost at the penalty shootouts against South Africa. Those games were screened on Kwese TV. So the coach, Lloyd Chigoe, he was watching those games. So after the tournament, he invited me for trials in 2019. So that's how I ended up playing for Dynamos.
So you've had a taste of both Harare Giants, Dynamos, and Caps. Yeah. So what is the experience like? Because signing for Dynamos is a big deal. Yeah. Like when you put pen to paper and you realize I now play for Dynamos. Yeah. What was your thought process? Because Dynamos does have demanding fans like any other big team.
Yeah. Every kid hopes to play for Dynamos and dreams to play for Dynamos, but it's not easy. And sometimes you'll be imagining yourself donning that blue jersey. But God is the final say. And when I signed the contract, I couldn't believe that I'm part of the club. Because if you ask me, that team is very big in Zimbabwe, even in Africa. It's very, very big. The demands are very, very high. You have to perform each and every game. You have to be on your top. And imagine, as a person, you will not perform 100% every game. So it's something that you have to embrace.
But early days, did you find you had to do more? Because we can't get away from the fact that height-wise, you're not the typical sort of defensive player that would expect. And when people see you and they're like, defense, Dimbari.
I still remember our first game against Mshoan. You could see that people, when you're doing warm-up, then you come in for the game, people will they will have those doubts. Say, this boy can play. This boy will be able to play. But, football, you play it where everyone will see.
But my question then goes back to when you were starting out. Because if I was a coach, I would expect that if I was a coach, I would not make you a defensive player. Probably, I would want you in the wings. I would want you in attack. I would want you as an attacking midfielder. How did that decision come about for you to play defensively?
I think it has to do with my defending attributes, because in defending it's not all about how big you are, but it has to go with your intelligence, because you have to be sharp in terms of anticipation and interceptions, because you might be big but not clever enough.
But Emmanuel, when you're doing the drills, when you're doing the training, I'm assuming that when you initially start, coaches will always have certain people. They'll be like, tamba, even obviously. Based on just appearance.
I think me as a player, when I started playing, I was a winger. But as I grew up, you could see I can do better on this position. I can do better on this certain position. So it's something that came as I was growing up, and likely things that I hoped and I saw that it can happen. It really is happening now.
But are there times during your career, especially when you're not getting the call-ups and you are doing well, is there a time you sort of felt like, maybe it's because of my height?
Yeah, but not really. Not really. Me as a person, I accept critics, because they will help you to build as a person. If you ask me all the season that I've played, it's not that I'm perfect, but I am improving as a player. You improve as you grow, because there are certain things that I was not doing when I was 20 that I am doing now. I am 25, because football you learn every day. So whenever I was not getting a call up, I would not say it's because of my height, but I was blaming my performance wise. I knew as a person I could do better for me to be on this level.
And when we talk about Dynamos as an institution, even when you joined it, what was the perception with your family, your friends? Because I've joined Dynamos, and you do get a lot of negative people more than the positive people saying, wafunga society. And for you players, there is a perception and a statement, wafunga utambira miridzo.
Yeah, people always say that, but look, Dynamos is a big club in Zimbabwe, and it's every player's dream to play for Dynamos. Despite all those financial issues, they are there. They are there. So first, you have to look at your career. Say, if I do this, am I going to improve career-wise? So I think Dynamos is a big stepping stone for every player in Zimbabwe.
I think this is something that we agree on, because people don't understand back home. I had the same ish situation where people don't understand how just being part of Dynamos, there's something it does to your CV, like just being at Dynamos. But we've been hearing speculation that you want to cross over. Some have been linking you to Scotland. Do you have plans of leaving?
Yeah, for now I'm concentrating on recovering, because now it's December time, you have to recover. But you know what, like I said, we as human beings, we have plans, and people will say whatever they say, but only God knows what tomorrow holds.
Very diplomatic, eh? I will repeat. 2025.
Yeah.
Will Emmanuel Jalai be at Dynamos? Okay, let's will you be at Dynamos?
Only God knows.
Does Emmanuel Jalai have a running contract with Dynamos, or you are in the process of negotiating a new one?
My contract is expiring on the 31st of this month.
I got my answer. I got my answer. Why? Because you might stay at Dynamos, but obviously we want to offer bigger things because your contract is running out just in the season where you've made the calendar. Your hot property, you're playing for the national team, your hot property, and people are now looking at you, and because we're going to have a calendar, all of a sudden, it elevates you to a certain point.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to be very diplomatic, but man, blue next year. Okay, and talking about blue,
yeah,
you are one of those players that have been at Dynamos for a while now. And a lot happens at Dynamos. My players, my players that I say, what keeps you going at Dynamos? What keeps you being positive? Because you are a very positive person.
First and foremost, me as a person, I don't want to let down those people who believe in me. Because, there are certain people that will always support you in terms of football-wise and not football-wise, and also in your ups and your downs. So imagine when someone is paying his own money or your own man to come and watch you, then you decide just to say, I don't want. It's difficult because also you have to consider those people. They've got their own jobs to attend, and they've got their own families to attend also. But someone would just decide to say, today I'm going to watch football. But it's difficult also for us as players. You'd want to participate or you want to play football in a good mind without any problems. But it is what it is here in Zimbabwe. The situation is just tough for everyone.
Tough situation, but how is it for you? Obviously Zimbabwe, we call it a Christian country. The majority of the people are Christian, and you are not Christian.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your religion and your beliefs.
Yeah, me, I'm very, very proud to be a Muslim. And I think people have accepted me as I am. Because, at the end, we only have one God. So no matter how you pray, no matter what you do, all our prayers are being answered by God. So me, I don't have any problem with my teammates or other people who surrounds me. They've accepted who I am.
And how do you handle? You have Ramadan, right?
Yeah.
How do you handle Ramadan, especially if you have to play?
Yeah, it's a very difficult month of the year, but a very, very month full of blessings, if you ask me. A training, sometimes they will have to make a special program for you, because sometimes Ramadan month will start during the season. So it will be difficult for you to have a full program because it will be hot and the training intensity will be very high. So sometimes they will excuse me to say, if you were supposed to do in our program, I will do 30 minutes. So like I said, it all goes with how people have accepted who I am and also accepted my religion.
I'm involved in cricket, so there's obviously like a couple of Muslim guys in the squad, and there are certain times when it's time to pray and maybe there's action and they find a space and they pray. Do you also have those incidences where you are called to duty, but at the same time it is prayer time?
Yeah, but it's difficult. Look, sometimes the prayer times from 5 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, 4, 6, and 8. So I think from 1 and 6 it's difficult because mostly it will be during the games. But when it's training days, I think I am able to perform them.
And we talk about religion, we talk about beliefs. Zimbabwean football and African football in general,
Yeah.
juju is prevalent. People have different beliefs. What is your stance on that? Does it happen around you? Do you practice it? Not that I've ever heard a football player, I know boom out, yes. They all say it's there, but nobody says I do it.
Me, I don't do juju.
But you've been around.
I've heard about it. But like I said, every person has got his own beliefs. So whatever someone does, I don't care. Because everything that we do under the sun is controlled by God.
But we can't run away from the fact that sometimes teams are involved in these things.
Yeah.
Is it ever affected you?
No.
Some would Dynamos are with where they know. Jalai. Jalai is like, what? Because for a team like Dynamos, if you read Memory Mcherahoa's book, he was a captain at Dynamos, and he's got a chapter where he talks about practicing juju. So maybe we're saying with Dynamos ya change in the modern era, or maybe you know it, but you're just not involved in it.
Like I said, me, I've never involved in such things. I'm not sure if it's stay or it's not stay.
Let's take a moment to take that in. Man, you're a very calm person.
Yeah.
Calm demeanor.
Thank you.
Is that how calm you are in the pitch? Or I know Zoid kana man wapa bas.
Yeah. I think it's the same, despite the energy in the field. For you to perform at your best, so it has to go with the confidence level, because you cannot make a decision when you're not comfortable. You have to be calm. But whenever a game is starting, there's that nervousness, which is it's normal. But I think as the game progresses around 3-4 minutes after, it goes away. So like you mentioned that am I calm as I am outside the football? Yeah, I am.
Is it religion? Or it's just your personality that makes you this really grounded, calm person?
I think it has to go with my background. Sometimes it's how we are raised as children. So I think I'll give a special mention to my mom for helping me to be the person I am today.
Let's talk about your status. Married, in a relationship, kids. What's the status?
In a relationship, I don't have kids yet.
How do you handle girls, footballers and girls?
Yeah, it's tough, but I think people who react in a way that you want them to react. If you allow someone to get inside you, they will do so. But if you set boundaries, people will know that this person doesn't tolerate 1, 2, 3. So I think it's one of the things that I've managed very well, because it's difficult. People will text you differently. But as a person, you have to know and you have to set boundaries.
So it's true.
Yeah,
I
it's true.
But in demand for football players. So how does your partner handle it though? Because there's always a reputation thing with footballers. Obviously, there's a lot of negative things that people align to footballers. One of the negative things is nyaye womanizing and women kuchinjana kutenderedza vanhu kuti manu ukapedza Martin osvikawo Frank osvikawo zvichidaro. It's perceptions that people have. So when you then have a partner, how do you make them understand that I'm an individual and I'm not like that when you are around that?
I think if you want someone to understand you, if you want someone to believe you, it has to go with your actions. Action speaks louder than words. So you cannot just say something that you cannot practice. So it has to go with how you as a person you do things. I think it will be easier for her to believe you if you practice it.
Samson about offside.
Answered.
I wish she was here. She could collaborate and say, "Oh, remember that day." But yeah, we've got into it, obviously into your personal life.
Yeah.
How many are you in your family?
4.
You are which one?
Tinokutanga.
Hey, Dangwe. How's that going? Because Dangwe duties, I'm a Dangwe as well. Guys, yo, the hustle is real.
Yeah, it's stressful.
The expectations. Like, but Dangwe, the parents feel like all their hopes and their dreams are on you.
Yeah.
By the time they get to the younger one, they're like, okay, fine, she can do what she wants with her life,
Yeah, you have to set an example, a very good example. Like you see, the younger ones will be looking at you. So you have to lead by example as the firstborn. So like you said, it's stressing because the expectations will be very high. But it also helps you as a person to grow because certain duties to play. So you, in terms of responsibilities, you'll be up there.
So you're a responsible guy.
I can say so.
Your mom can collaborate.
Yeah.
But let's talk about going back to your career as well. Let's talk about national team. The first time you played, which game was it? The first time because obviously you get a call up, sometimes you don't get to play.
It was a game against Comoros in PE, sorry. I think it was a bit easier because if you look, I've been playing consistently in at Dynamos. So it's not something that I was not hoping or something that I didn't plan for. International games, they're a bit different from club level because they are one game mistake. If you make a mistake, they will punish. So I think as a person or looking into that game, I did very well.
And what sort of player are you? Like, how do you psych yourself up for a game? Before a game, do you play music? Are you quiet? Are you loud? Do you sing? What does Manu do before a game?
Yeah, before the game, of course, before I leave my room, I have to pray and ask for mercy and ask for blessings for the game. When you are in the bus, because it depends with the distance to the stadium, usually I play music. And we'll get a time that we'll be singing. I don't have any problem with that.
What sort of music do you like listening to?
I listen to South African music and also Kudzi Nyakujka.
I was waiting for you to say like Zim dance or or like reggae and stuff like that. Something so out of character to you, to your demeanor. But playing for the national team, what's it like for a player? Because it's not going from the outside, and we've got all these expectations for you guys. What's it like?
First thing first, you should know that you are representing every Zimbabwean in Zimbabwe, outside Zimbabwe. So it goes with a lot of expectations for you as a player, and you have to do your best whenever you get the chance to do so. So it's a huge responsibility that is being given to 23 players of that game. So I think it helps you to grow as a person in terms of meeting up the demands and expectations in life in general. So as a person, you end up getting used to the pressure of the national team, despite playing or not playing, because the environment is always the same. So I think, like I said, it helps you to grow as a person or as a player.
And obviously, as a player, you want to always turn up, play when you're called up. We saw in the last campaign, Afghan qualification, the team was successful, but you had games that you didn't play, a lot of them. How do you handle that?
Yeah, me, I'm not worried about playing at this stage more than learning, because at first you have to learn. You see how things are done, how things are supposed to be performed. Good thing is those guys, they will help us outside the pitch in training. Despite that we are going to play or not playing, they will always help us as players. If look, there are young players that didn't play, like me, Mali, Martin, Daniel in the last games, but they will not separate themselves from us. They will come to us and say, look, you not playing today is not because you are not a good player, but as a coach, he's got his own game tactics approaching every game. So the good thing is, people were saying you were supposed to play, you were supposed to do this, but the coach is a very good person, very, very good person. After the campaign, he took us, all those guys who didn't play, and he explained the situation, which we understood. Because as a player, you'd want to play, but at the same time, you have to respect the decision which is there.
But are there times as a player where you tell yourself, you look at the team, you look at the players that play in the same position you want to play, and tell yourself, maybe and skukwana, or you always tell yourself,
if you are honest enough, you could see that someone who is playing at your position is playing very well. If I take you back to the AFCON campaign, the team didn't concede in the first 4 games. They didn't concede a goal. I was not supposed to say I have to play. No, even in club level, if a team doesn't concede goals, there's no way a coach is going to change the back line or whatever you say. So you have to be honest enough. If the same situation had happened to you, you were playing, the team didn't concede, and the team will change, how are you going to take the situation? So sometimes, like I said, you have to be honest. Those guys, they did very, very well. So me as a person, I was just wishing them nothing but good luck.
How do you block out the noise? Because obviously you come from an institution that has a lot of supporters, and within those will be a lot that will be saying, fans sometimes, they don't look at all these other facts you're talking about to say, okay, fine, there's this defense line, it's been doing well. All they think about is club allegiance and saying, okay, fine, how many players do we have in the team? Oh, we've got Martin and we've got Emmanuel. Can't they play?
I don't read the comments. Whatever people they say, there are certain people who are close to me. Yeah, they know I don't tolerate such things that they will come to me and say, you are supposed to play over this guy. No, you have to respect the person that is playing that time, because everyone will get his chance. So you have to wish someone good who is playing at that position.
So how is it going to meet the president after qualifying?
Yeah, that place is not easy to visit. We were joking around with God. God is always making funnies and stuff, but once we get into that gate, where he was quiet.
Good.
You know, after the event, I asked him, "Were you the same person you used to be?" He was like, Shamari, maybe magaipa." Yeah, it was a very special moment to meet His Excellence. You know, it's not easy. He's not an easy person to see or to meet. So I think we had an honor to meet him direct.
Meet him direct and be given some mula. Mari beg. Were you okay? Fine. Munubano State House, right?
Yeah.
There is an event.
Yeah.
Was there an expectation to want something, or was it a surprise?
Yeah, we were told. So we knew what we were going to come across.
And how's that? Because it's not money that you were expecting. It's not money you were budgeting on.
Yeah.
It's extra money for you.
Yeah, of course. It was an amount that we were expecting to get as players, but like I said, it was a year of blessings everywhere in terms of football and outside football.
Year of blessings.
Yeah.
A year of blessings might come with change. Is that how we're concluding the year?
Not really, but God has His own plans.
You are not budging. Like, I literally was like, let me sneak that in. Maybe I'll get a clue. You're not budging. You're professional like that.
Yeah, you have to be professional.
If I am a Dynamos fan and I'm watching this interview, because we don't know if you're going to be a Dynamos. Okay, fine. He's not wanting to hint or not hint, say yes or say no. But let's say, for example, that you do leave Dynamos. What would you want to say to Dynamos supporters?
Yeah, I think it's the same message that I've been preaching since I joined the club. Their support is just different. It's just different from day one. I think as a player, you need such people that will give you the support whenever down. And also, I would like to encourage them to do the same to other players. Because, you know, when you're in the pitch, you're not playing alone. You need those guys to be cheered up. They cannot cheer me alone. Yes, I understand their support, but I also need their support to go to the other players, because we are a team and we need everyone.
Have you ever been booed? Or have you ever had, like, negative energy from the fans while you're playing?
Thank God I haven't been bored.
But how do you handle when a teammate, what are the conversations you have with a teammate if they're in the line of fire?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest time that he needs our support, because, you know, it's not easier. Whenever someone makes a mistake, then those guys, they will start whistling. What we do as players, we just encourage him not to listen to them. Play your game. The same people that are bullying you, if you do good, they will support you. That's how the Dynamo supporters are. If you do bad, I think 4 or 5 games not playing well, if you play one good game, they will forget all those 5 games.
The same is true. You have 4 good games and you have 1 bad game, and they'll make a lot of noise about that. But in your career, obviously, there was a phase where Dynamos was playing at the National Sports Stadium, and now they are playing at Rufaro Stadium. Tell me the differences for a player, if there are any, playing a Dynamos game at Rufaro, playing a Dynamos game at National Sports Stadium, and then even at one time you were playing at Barberfield Stadium as your home ground.
Yeah, home is always the best. Playing at National Sports, it's very, very difficult in terms of the atmosphere. Because if you look at those grandstands, they are far from the pitch. And also, the there are certain people who stays in Shtungwiza, who stays in Mapuku. If someone wants to come to national sports, you have to pay for 2 combis. So it's something that that was chasing our supporters from coming to the stadium. So it's a huge difference from Rufaro in terms of atmosphere. I think you can testify. The support that we get in Rufaro is just different from each and every state. I think Baba Field is the second home ground for Dynamos. Those guys from Bulawayo, they are just different.
They have a vibe.
They've got a vibe. They support you from the warm-up until the last minute of the game.
So Dynamos has an okayish season, not great by Dynamo standards.
Yeah.
And then Chibuku Super Cup. How important was that for you guys to win that trophy? For you as a player to at least get a medal in the season?
Yeah, before you start a season, you set certain goals as a player, and I think it's one of the goals that was on my list to get a gold medal at the end. Despite not having a great season as a team, getting a Chibuku Super Cup, it will help the team to participate in the African Safari.
And what's that like? This season you guys were participated in the safari. I think we had a big interview about it on the first episode of Spotlight with Yvonne Mangunda Murape giving us an insight into that. But I don't want to talk about that because I know you're very diplomatic. You're not going to give me those answers. But what was the campaign like?
Yeah, the campaign, it was a great campaign. Despite us losing the game on penalties against Orapa. Like I said, the international matches, they're just different from the local league. The intensity, the level of intelligence is just different. Because if you ask me, we came across other guys who are playing in the Botswana national team, who are playing at Orapa. So in terms of competition, it's up there. And also our first game against Sesco, I think the second leg, is one of my difficult games that I've played or that I'm going to play in my career. I think we spend 35 minutes in our own first half, and we conceded around 7-8 corner kicks in a space of 15 minutes. It was just tough. You know, those guys, they are very quick and tough. So, I think we as players, when we had a break, we just came across and said, guys, this game is not going to be an easy game, but we mustn't concede. Because we were leading 1-0 in the first leg. So we were not supposed to concede. And luckily, we didn't concede, but it was a tough game.
Talking about that being a tough game, so after having such a tough game, would you want to see it through and go to the Confederation Cup? Is it one of the considerations when you renew or not renew your contract?
I would not say I would consider that because I have to develop as a person. So it's something, if you look, it's something that I am going to put in my CV that I've been in Confederations Cup games. So I would not consider it more than my career.
What is the dream after? Have you started thinking about life after football?
Yeah.
Are you staying in football? Is it something totally different?
It's totally different, but you never know. Things might change. But me as a person, I've got different views or different goals apart from football.
So are you trying to tell me that as it stands now, for Emmanuel Jalai, the dream is that as soon as you stop playing, you're not involved in football, you're going elsewhere?
Yeah, that's my dream. But like I said, we as human beings, we have plans, but God will decide for us.
Does that have to do with, because I know you had a label.
Yeah,
Is that what you want to get into? Business and stuff and all that?
yeah, because I am into fashion. So it's something that I can consider after retirement from football.
How difficult has it been for you, the label, and trying to get into the market when you are a full-time football player?
Yeah, just to go with your availability every time, which is difficult for us because every time we'll be traveling. So we go to an extent that we have to look for someone or to employ someone that will help us in our absence.
It's very surprising, but at the same time, it's very refreshing that, I mean, if you've got your dreams outside football, it's okay. But people always talk about Nyaye man me bora. You are somebody who's in sport, practicing. What is the ideal when it comes to football leadership? Is the ideal somebody who played sport or somebody who's just good as an administrator? Because there's always that debate here. You're letting us down. You're not getting into spaces that you should be in.
I would say someone who's got the experience in terms of football. But if I give an example, Jose Mourinho is a coach, but he has never played football. So it has to go with your intelligence on how you manage something. So on that one, I will not decide or I will not say certain someone has to be on this post, because it has to go with your level of intelligence on how you handle something when you're on that post.
And ideally, we're in Zifa election season. As a player, what are you hoping for Zimbabwean football in the future? Things we can correct or things we can amplify?
Yeah, someone who is going to look into small things, but that matters most in terms of Zimbabwean football. If you look now, we don't have grassroots football. Whereas that's where me as a person, I came through. So you cannot have national team without developmental football. This is just because I still remember curtain raising a game for Cape United when I was in the juniors. But now it's just totally different. You come in 3 o'clock, you play, you go home. Whereas way back you could have under 12, under 14, under 15 curtain raising for the first team. It also helps the young ones to get that motivation to reach to certain level. And also it helps, if you ask me, now we're having difficult times in youth in attending those drug issues, because there's no activity that they are participating into. So it's something that will take away those young ones from drugs and those bad things from the community. So my wish, whoever is going to get the post, he has to change the basics which matters most into football. Because as a nation, we are up there, but now we've dropped in terms of the rankings because of those small things that matters most in football.
So he says that the small details is what he's looking at when he looks at whoever is going to come. He's obviously not going to get into this is the candidate that I want, but just a description of what ideally we need as Zimbabwean sport and your experiences as a player. Tombova, kuna Emmanuel Jalai, the player. Emmanuel Jalai, Manoa Mai Jalai. Anofarire, what do you do? Kana useriku kutaje sport.
Yeah, like I said, I've got I am into fashion. So whenever I'm not into football, I'll be running around pushing my stuff, the clothes that I sell. So, like now we are off season. Now I'm focusing more on pushing my stuff.
So if a person wants to see your stuff, how do they get in touch? Do you have a page? Do you have contacts?
Yeah, we are still, for now, I'm looking for a physical place. So once it's done, I think I'll post on my page so that it will be easier for them to reach me.
He talks about his page. That's a Facebook page, right? Emmanuel Jalai page.
Yeah.
And a lot of football players don't like to utilize social media. Talking about social media, you post. You post. Why is it important for you to post? You are Emmanuel Jalai. You play for Dynamos. Why should you post?
Yeah, the life we are living, you have to something that reflects who you are as a person. Because now, if someone wants to search about you, you go on on X, you go on Facebook, Instagram. As a professional player, some will say I don't like to be on social media. For example, Rodri for Man City doesn't have any social media platform. But as players who are growing, it's easier for someone to search information about you. Because, those guys, or even outside guys, they will search before they get in touch with you. They will look for every detail on social media. How you handle people, how you handle yourself. So it's easier for someone to get details about you if you have those platforms.
But if you encountered players who just think it's vanity, like it's just like, so what? So what? Social media, anybody?
Yeah, they are there. They are there. Yeah, everyone has got his own views, so you cannot change someone's view to your own views. At the end, we have different lives to live.
What is your immediate and future goals?
Yeah.
Immediate. I'm not saying Tuesday if you're going, he refuses, saying he's not going. But you're gonna watch this interview, and then weeks down the line you'll be like, July. Why was you?
Yeah, I think as a person, you want to develop and go outside the country. So I think it's something that I'm praying and hoping that it will happen. But after all, we've got one decision that comes from God. So we'll wait and see.
We are waiting. We are seeing. We're looking. We're thinking, is it Scotland? Are there other offers? But knowing July, you will only know the day that you sign. My guy. No matter offside the beat. And I want to July has hinted that maybe. Poster gold. It's good in Scotland. Green. FC Platinum. It keeps United. There is my hint. I know. But nini kwandiri manje because ndine agenda yangu yekuziva kuti pane kuri kunzi kwenda kwakatika ndikubva tofunga kuti kama ari kunzi ada kuenda uku sajalai pamwe wakuenda futi 1+1 can be 2 to some it can be 11 so
But the real answer
will know after 31. Like he said, his contract is running out at Dynamos. So either Dynamos already offered him an extension or Chauna 2025 is going to be exciting. The signings that I'm seeing off season, Chalai, I don't know if I'm about Bora. And Ameno, my traditional Giants. Because when we saw Scotland, Simba Bora. So far off season, Simba Bora, Scotland. Saka Jalai kalaf, muko na kalaf. Would die for leashing you. But what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to remember you? The day that you do hang your boots, what would success mean to you?
Yeah, I want to be remembered as one of the players that have reached certain level in terms of football, and also by helping the less privileged people in our societies, and also helping the young ones that anything or everything is possible in life. You have to believe in yourself, because there are people who doubt in your abilities, but that mustn't decide or detect what is going to happen in your future.
So with that, I have to ask you, who's your favorite local and international player? Local Ndiani, international Ndiani.
My local favorite player when he was still playing was Adlai Surekwi. And my international player is Danny Carvajal from Real Madrid.
And okay, fine, I know football players play for certain teams. Yeah. Are there any other teams that you support?
Locally or...
No, locally I'll put you in trouble, because then you're going to say Scotland, will be like, or you're going to say Caps United, will be like, Dynamos, obvious, you play for it. International teams.
Yeah, I support Manchester United.
Diamond Loser, I'm done. I'm done. Diamond Loser interviewed. I see menu.
Manchester United.
But you're too chill to be a menu supporter. Menu supporters.
One of them support Manchester City is not a true support.
Is also wrong. Is also no vuma wrong. And no offense. But I'm support no. Either vadiki not fazia burawa kura. But you look like a let me box you. You look like a Liverpool supporter. Liverpool, any my Liverpool supporters and those calm, collected, relaxed, and then Menu and Chelsea supporters are just.
No, I think it's because I'm Salman Dona, but it's you know what? Whenever Manchester is playing, I've got certain guys who text me. Whenever the team is trailing, you see a call, I will not answer. It's a big trouble. And I will do the same thing to them. Whenever their team is playing, I'll call.
You must have had a lot of calls in the last season or in this season. Add me to that list. Yeah. Because the good thing about me is I support team isinga mbowi ni title isinga okay fine 1 or 2 seasons but the beauty of supporting Newcastle is you can laugh at the other teams, and when they laugh at you Newcastle.
So
and then lost in the forest. What anyway, I'm so glad that we had this interview. I'm so glad that we got an insight, and hoping that you at home got an insight into Emmanuel Jalai, the player, refusing to divulge where he's going or whether he's staying. But what we know is something is going to happen, because his contract is running out on the 31st of December 2024. So 2025 we will find out if he's going to stay at Dynamos or he's going to go, as speculation is saying that Scotland irikumuda. But Emmanuel, being Emmanuel and the professional that he is, he didn't even like, I tried, like Paripaunez, I would squeeze out, I'm a good journalist, under the radar, but it didn't happen like that. Hoping that 2025 will be as beautiful as 2024. And I have a bit of a bias because he's my daughter's favorite player. So yeah, clear nasan Jifara chona interview with Jalai.
Biggest support.
Biggest support, and they don't take that Jalai. So
yeah.
So hoping you have a good season, and hoping that you got an insight into who Emmanuel Jalai is, and 2024 has been good for you. Yeah. May the Lord ensure that 2025 is even bigger.
Thank you.
Hoping Shakunaku Africa Cup of Nations. But that's the other thing before we go. Isn't ish? Like this whole thing, I don't understand this whole thing of you guys doing this qualifier so early. Yeah. Then you've got a whole year of waiting. A lot can happen in a year, Onozia.
Yeah, it's a very, very long space in between.
Because when is a team AFCON, so now TV says
yeah, it's food making happen. But I think it has to go with how you are going to work during the year, because there are World Cup qualifiers. I think there are 4 games in between the year. So We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. Just like we'll see how it goes in the next month. It's a ZIFA elections season. So I've been giving you like candidates. I thought, let's take a breather and bring a football player. After all, these are the people that entertain us on the field. Until the next time, you never know who I'm bringing on the show, but you are definitely assured it is a big sporting media personality in Zimbabwe. Until next time, goodbye.